How did you meet your husband?
We met quite naturally, given both his love and passion for aviation and seeing aviation as a bridge between the Arab world and the rest of the world, which he realized was such a vital connecting point necessary to promoting better understanding and also to bringing people together to solve some of the problems that plagued the political and other relationships between the Arab world and the West in particular. And a way of boosting economic prosperity as well, trade. And so he built an airline from scratch in a very poor country and had, among others, a Lebanese aeronautical engineer by training help him in building up the airline, a gentleman named Ali Ghandour, and who also knew my father and brought him in as an aviation advisor. Mm-hmm. So the building of that airline was the creation of three men for whom aviation had been a passion, at least in the case of my husband and my father, from their teens.
Oh, your husband was a pilot.
Both of them had started flying in their teens. Mm-hmm. And for my husband, in part, it was a way of just getting away from the British who were in Jordan at the time, from his family, from everybody, every bind that he felt, and feeling free in the air. And I think my father understood, as most pilots do, that passion. And we met at an airport, perchance at a ceremony. I was working in Iran and was passing through Jordan on my way back to the United States for a brief stop. And my father said, let's meet in Jordan. And while we were there was a reception for the first Boeing 747 to arrive in Jordan.
My God. And
we were invited to the reception, my father and I. And on that occasion, I met the king for the first time. So that would have been 1976.
Love at first sight?
My husband says, it wouldn't have been love at first sight. And my husband was married at the time. Oh, his third wife, died in a helicopter crash a few months later.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And so it was, and I, after that visit, had finished up my job in Iran, went back to the United States, and then was asked to come back and do some research work in Jordan. And during that period of time, I spent a lot of time in and out of the airport. A lot of it was focused on developing the plans for a pan-Arab aviation academy or university, where the Arab world would start training its own pilots, its own air traffic controllers, its own human resources for the aviation industry, because to date, most of these countries were depending on foreigners, and that was an ideal. It was a dream of my husband, my father, Ali Ghandour, that the Arab world could come together, which is not very easy for the Arab world in those days, and there's still challenges, but it could come together on this dream because it would benefit everyone. So I was doing the research, and we would meet occasionally, run into each other at the airport. And,
sweet story.
I have some.
No.
I actually have a photograph of one of those occasions. I have a photograph of the day that we first met.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I'm behind the lens. I'm behind the camera. I took the photograph.
Oh,
of my
that's fantastic.
Father saying hello greeting the king. It was at the ceremony I'm talking about. And my father embarrassed me, as he was wont to do on occasion, threw his camera at me, said, "Take a picture of me with the king." And I met the king seconds later.